So who is eligible for the one-time GST payment that was designed to support Canadians with inflation? So it's a one-time GST payment. Looks like it'll help more than 11 million Canadian individuals and families. And what this one-time payment is actually doing, it's doubling the GST credit amount eligible individuals receive for a 6-month period. So whatever amount you're receiving in the next 6-month period, it's gonna be doubled. That's what this one-time payment does. So if you were normally going to receive a GST credit in October 2022, then you are entitled to this one-time payment. Now, if you didn't receive it yet, but you're supposed to receive the regular credit, GST credit, just wait 10 days before you contact them. So of course, you must have done your 2021 tax return because that's what your GST is based on. So if you're normally getting the GST credit in October, then that means you did your 2021 tax return. So you're entitled to get this one-time payment, which doubles the GST credit amount for the next 6-month period. So this one-time GST credit payment will be double the amount of the GST credit you would receive over a 6-month period. So usually a 6-month period, that means you would be receiving 2 payments. So basically your 2 payments that you're expected to get from GST, you're going to get a one-time payment, which is double that amount. So you can receive a maximum payment of up to, if you're single, no children, $234. That's just a one-time payment. If you're married, 2 children, for example, it'll be $467. But once again, it depends if you're actually eligible for the GST credit to begin with. So it'll depend on your family income. The one-time payment will be issued November 4th, but expect 10 business days. So how to calculate your one-time payment? I'll put the link in the description below the video, but this is how you can calculate your one-time payment, which isn't complicated already. If you should know what you're already getting in October, and I believe 3 months later will be January, and then just double that amount. But you've got your base credit over here, 306, and then if you have a spouse or not, if you have a spouse, you had another 306. Every eligible dependent gets another 306, and then eligible children as well, another 161. So 161 times the number of children. Eligible dependent 306, that's a different story. That's not for every dependent though, only if you qualify for the eligible dependent. So a family with 2 children, for example, will be, you'll have 306 here, 306 on this line, then 161 times 2 on this line. You add this up, gives you a total, and then you go to this line here, adjusted family net income. You put your adjusted family net income, let's say it's, I don't know, 80,000. And then you deduct 99.19 from it. You're left with an amount here. And then here, additional credit, enter 161 or 2% of line 7, whichever is less. So if you're left with, let's say, 70,000 over here, 2% of 70,000 is 1,400. So you'd enter 161 here. And then subtotal, add lines 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. So you'd add this line, 2, 3, 4. So you add the total that you had over here. So let's give an example here. So we said we would add, for family, for a couple with 2 children, you would add 306 plus 306 plus 161 plus 161. So 934 would be over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then line 8, we would have, let's say 80 minus, let's just say 10,000. So you're left with 70,000. Line 8 will be 161 because it's either $161 or 2% of line 7, but 2% of line 7 was 1,400, so we're going to have to put 161 because it says whichever is less, so plus 161. We're at 1,095. If we scroll down, credit reduction, adjusted family net income, we said 80,000, base amount minus 39. If the result is negative, enter 0, so line is 10 minus line 11, so 80 minus 40, we're left with 40, and then enter 5% of line 12. Let's keep this number in mind, or let's open another calculator here. So we're saying here 5% of line 12. Line 12 we said was 40,000. So 5% of line 12 is 2,000. Sorry, 0.05 times 40,000. So that's $2,000. That goes on line 13, and then annual credit line 9 minus line 13. So we said 9. Line 9 we said was the other amount on the calculator, right? It was 1095 minus line 13 is 2,000. So because line 9 minus line 13 gives me a negative amount, so in this scenario, this family making 80,000 with 2 children would not be eligible for that GST payment because 1095 minus 2,000 is a negative amount. So that would be 0 over here. And then the payment amount is actually line 14 divided by 2. So 0 divided by 2 is 0, so nothing. So let's use an example where the family makes 50,000, has a family net income of 50,000. Then in that case, line 9 would be, how much would line 9 be? Line 9 would be, first of all, so line 5 would be 50. 50 minus 10, let's say, is 40,000. So line 10 would be 40,000. Line 8 would be 161 or 2% of line 7. So 2% of 40,000 is $800. So it would still be 161. So line 9 would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8. So line 9 would still be the same. Line 9 would still be 1095. That doesn't change. What will change though is line 12. So we had, if we start off with 50,000 here minus 40, let's say, so line 12 will be 10,000. 5% of 10,000. So 5% of 10,000, we've got $500. So now line 9 minus line 13. So line 9 is 1095. Line 13 is 500. So now we have a positive difference. So we got 595. Line 14 is 595. And then line 15 is, which is the payment amount for November 2022, is line 14 divided by 2. So that divided by 2 gives us $297. So the payment that you'd be expecting in this scenario is $297. Now let's go see if we had that as an example. I don't see any $297 here, family with 2 children, but it says you could receive a maximum payment of up to $467. So it depends on your family income. But yeah, so you'd fall in this bracket and you'd be receiving $297 as an additional payment. How will that help with inflation? That's a different story. No idea. I think my monthly expenses have increased. Just my monthly expenses have increased at least $600. So I don't think a one-time payment of $200 will do anything. Now, of course, something to note, if you owe a balance on your GST credit amount, which you can see on your notice of assessment, obviously you're not going to get the money. It's going to be used to pay down the debt. Now, if you receive your GST credit as a lump sum, don't worry, you're still going to get your additional one-time payment here. It'll just be adjusted accordingly. But if you receive it in a lump sum, you will not necessarily receive the one-time payment in November. You'll receive it on January 5th, 2023. And it will include, of course, the additional one-time GST credit payment. All right, good luck, everyone. Thanks for watching.